What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing well today on this Sunday. Thank you for hanging out on Comic Book Community Shout Out. Yo, thank you, everyone, man. Really do appreciate it for taking a minute to hang out with this guy right here. Um, man, my phone's going off the hook, guys. So I really do apologize about that. I got people sending me emails and all right, let me just clear everything out. Let me lower any ringtones and all that stuff because I don't need no interruptions when we do the shout out show. Because you know how we do, man. We got five channels, guys. Five channels, and there's one new one. So we gotta support the community, support the content that people put out there. And not only that, we'll have a very special guest. Tacoma Comics will be in the house. Tacoma is a great guy. Yo, you don't know Tacoma Comics? I don't know what's wrong with you. That's your fault if you don't know what's wrong. Tacoma's a great guy, man. All right, make sure we're all set here. All right, so I got the chat on the phone. Still charging the phone actually because my battery was about to die. But let me say hello to everyone right now. Mr. Gresky in the house. What is going on? Tom D, comic book nerd. How are you, sir? What is going on? And AML. This guy's been everyone's channel lately, just supporting everyone's channel. Thank you, AML, for hanging out with us. Josh R Comics and Gaming. Hello, how are you? Thank you for spending a minute on this channel right now, talking about shout outs, because that's what we do at 4 o'clock. And there it is. That's my beast. That is my little Chewy dog. My neighbor just got here. Carmela, stop before I hit you with a sandal. Or una chancla. In Spanish, we call sandal and chancla. So, yeah, she's just she's a little Chihuahua. A Chihuahua is a Chihuahua and a Dachshund. So imagine a Chihuahua and a Dachshund mixed together. Her bark is big, but her bite is small. But anyway, scrolling down to the chat here. Again, AML, thank you so much for hanging out. D Mighty Comic Guy, what is up, brother? Lawrence was doing the show earlier with this little boy, which is pretty dope. And he's got something special coming up. So check his channel out because he wants to do something. So I dig it. Now you need to take the time to go check it out. All right. Lady Fantastic. How are you doing? I hope the slab is doing well. I'm pretty sure you probably threw it to the side already after sleeping with it. But anyway, Jeff Comment 813, my Cantonese brother. Yo, I want to speak Cantonese, but I can't. But I will say, I can't say because I don't know. I want to say hello. I need to learn. But if you want to learn Cantonese, check out Jeff Comment 813. After every video, he does a little lesson, especially for John Comics with kids. All right. D Comic Collector in the house. What is up, D Comic Collector? Thank you for hanging out. Keep it going here. Second Street Marvel. What's up, brother? What's going on? Second Street Marvel. Another guy that does great stuff in the community, man. Oh, here it is, man. Metaphor Echo. What is up, brother? State Puff 83. What's up, Puff? What's going on, bro? Man, there's a lot of people in the chat right now. The Comet Assassin, what is up, man? Check out his channel as well, man. Just a bunch of new people in the chat. I really do appreciate you time. Your time, not you time. Your time. Tacoma Comics is a special guest. He will be jumping on. I need to jump to the first channel right now. The first channel on the shout out show goes to Tony Fett. Tony Fett is in the house, man. He has 90 subscribers on his channel. All right, let me put the phone down. All right, he has 90 subscribers on his channel. Instagram, I don't think he has one. So on his channel, what you're gonna find is Tony is out there looking for people to do interviews. He doesn't care about what, pretty much what you have and how big your collection is. He just wants to have an interview with collectors and their collections. So check him out right now, Tony Fett, at 90 subscribers. And he also said that he also is looking to have people on his channel, regardless, like I just mentioned, regardless of their size, of their collection, or how big your YouTube channel is. So it doesn't matter how big you are, guys. Whether your channel is small and becoming larger, everyone here, we start from the bottom, we go like this, we go up. So this is what he's looking for, man. Just check him out right now. And actually, he has a bunch of interviews. He's done an interview with Superman's Comics. He's done an interview with JLS Comics. He's done an interview with Dan Percy Comics. So that's just to name a few, man. At number one, Tony Fett, 90 subscribers. Check out his channel. This YouTuber is great, man. Great, great, great. Actually, he invited me. So I have to work it out one way or the other to be on his channel, man. Back to the chat. Let's see who else is in the house. Big Lion Cat. What is going on, Big Lion? And Zen Manga. What is up, Zen Manga? Check them out right now. All these people in the chat, great people. They put out great content, but we have to jump to number two. After number two, we'll send an invite to the host of, to the man of the hour. It's going to be Tacoma Comics. Tacoma Comics is going to steal the show. We'll talk about the shout outs, but we need him to talk about himself and find out who Tacoma Comics is. Many people don't know Tacoma Comics. We're going to find out what's he really all about and all that good stuff. But at number two, guys, at number two, we have Team CGS 9.8. On Instagram, they don't have one, but on Twitter, you can find them under the same name. On YouTube, his channel is at 117 subscribers, man. He's from Canada. We got a Canadian in the house, man. Jerry is from Canada. He will put up daily video about comic books and the comic market. Cool thing. That's pretty dope. The comic market. Jerry tries to think about comics from an investment perspective. So if you want to buy books and look into investment, this is your boy right now. Check him out. He specializes on CGC 9.8 books from the 70s, the 60s, well, not the 60s, but the 80s and the 90s. I wish I had 60 comics from that year, those 60s, man. I don't have anything. But yo, check out Team CGC 9.8 and yo, investment perspective, specialized in CGC Comics, 9.8 books from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yo, that's pretty dope, man. And let me see if I can send the invite to Mr. Tacoma Comics. He'll get it. He'll jump on whenever he's ready to, because there's no rush, man. There's no rush. On the comic book community shoutouts, where I go out there looking for channels under 1,000 subscribers, guys. If you know a channel out there right now that's putting out great content, working hard, busting their ass to put out YouTube videos under 1,000, either one subscriber or whatever, let me know, man. Let me know. Leave me a comment about them. Everybody's channel right now that I'm going to mention is in the description below. Feel free to click the link, and there you go. Bam. Or actually, during the chat, you can click their names and all that stuff. So, it's hot in Florida, guys. Let me tell you, man. All right. So, let me send the invite. Let me send the invite to my homie, Tacoma Comic. Tacoma Comic is a great homie, man. And if you're not following him, I don't know what's wrong with you. And I'm gonna send him the invite right now. I'm sure he'll get it. It's sent. And let's minimize this for a minute. Can you still see me, guys? I hope you can. Bam, put that down. Got the phone here. Back to the chat. Tony Fett in the house. What's up, brother? Thank you for hanging out. And you're welcome, sir. Actually, no, you're not. You're welcome. Thank you for putting out great interviews with the channels. Well, not the channels, but the people I mentioned. Superman Comics, Dan Percy. So there he is. Yo, oh no, he did it. He got the hat on.
I got the hat on, man. I got the hat on just for you, brother.
Oh,
His style. So my hat on.
Mr. Tacoma Comics, sir.
How you been?
Are you doing? I don't hear no kids running in the background. I want to hear your wife calling you or texting you.
Oh, they're still at the festival, man. It's all good, man. We got some quiet. The dog is here, man, but she's passed out. First time ever, my dog was laying on the floor of a comic book shop half an hour ago. So it was,
awesome,
man. Yeah. So I just, we have this festival in town, Arts on the Ave, and it's not too hot out, but it's hot for her. She's old and she doesn't like walking too much, and we pushed her further than usual. So I'm walking back, like any shade she finds, boom. I passed my LCS, and I'm like, it's my brand new LCS. I just moved there because they're in walking distance now, so I don't got to drive anywhere. And I'm like, hey, can I bring the dog in? They're like, yeah, sure. So
what's the shop? Plug it in.
Stargazer Comics, yo, Tacoma. Stargazer Comics. So I just walk in there. Their dollar bins are quarter bins today. They got a nice sale going on. So she plops down on the carpet in a cool store. And that's when I texted you. I'm like, I'm coming home, but it's slow because she was not having it, man. She's out right now, just laying down. But it's all good. It's all good.
Awesome, man. We got 27 people in the chat, man. We're happy to have you, sir. I already mentioned the first channel is Tony Fett. Tony Fett does interviews. He just want to have interviews with certain people. Well, not certain people, anyone, man. He doesn't care. He has interview with Superman Comics, JLS Comics, and Dan Percy. So that's just to name a few, man. Go
nice.
Out, man.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I just subbed him up, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot here. I'm in my man cave here. The AC is at 70, and here is like 90. This is Florida, dude. This is Florida. Well, you know how hot is the heat.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm sitting here complaining about in Tacoma, and this is nothing. I'm inside without AC, and I'm fine now. Just walking outside in the sun and the pavement, it gets hot. But
yeah, for sure, man. And number 2, we had Team CGS 9.8. They don't have an Instagram, sir, but they do have a Twitter under the same name. They have 117 subscribers. Jerry is from Canada. He is like specialized in CGC 9.8 books from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, man.
Oh, wow.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Now, before we jump to you, sir, I'm going to give a shout out to number 3 here. Number 3.
All right, now we got the noise coming in.
What was that?
We got the noise coming in now.
Oh, that's perfect, dude. I love it. Unscripted, raw, dude. Let it rip, man. And number 3, we have Comic Flip. I don't think they have an Instagram, but on their channel, they have 38 subscribers, man. This channel is dedicated to comic book collecting, reading, and selling. They will flip a thing or two, but not only that, they want to help you find the hottest books to add to your collection, to flip it. If you want to make a profit, check out their channel. And they also do a new Combo Day Comic Haul video post on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So that's Comic Flip right now on YouTube. That's their channel. 38 subscribers, man. I don't like flipping books. Do you like to flip books and make a profit? I don't care about it. But to each his own, though.
You asking me, or are you asking everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yo, I don't go out and do I don't go to the shop where I don't pre-order books that I hear might be hot to buy them just to flip them. But I will go to half price books and I'll look for stuff that I know has value that's under undervalue, and I'll buy those. And a lot of time that's what's in my auctions and stuff. So it's flipping, but it's not like I'm buying it today to drive up the value because it just came out and it's got a possible key to it, and then I try to flip it the next day. I usually do that with like older established books from half price. Most of the stuff, if I buy it my LCS, I'm keeping it. Or like, I got a bunch of Stephanie Hans did those Marvels covers, and she did those she did the Invisible Woman cover. I got a couple of those on pre-order just so I could send them to people that I knew might miss them, because I know I got Poor Man's Comics is a big Hans collector. Bear Island Comics is a big Hans collector. So, I just got a few of those. Rad Raptor Comics just came out with, they're doing a store virgin variant of Die number 6. So I ordered 3 of those, So I get stuff, but not really to flip it. Sometimes I buy too much stuff and I realize, okay, you don't need 8 copies of Die number 1. You only need about 5 copies. So
yeah. Well, you never know, man. You never know. Actually, you just broke. You at how many subscribers right now?
I went over 400 quick. Ever since I went on that rant the other day, I went from like 395 to 408.
Was it on the boxes that you wasn't too happy about?
Boxes are my own fault. No, if you missed my rant, man, me and 2 others in the community, I'll let them say something if they want, all had an issue with this guy who basically an auction from 2 months ago. I just got PayPal put a $50 hold on my account for a sale. The guys, I eventually contacted him, but the books that the sale were for, he put on Instagram. So I know he received them because he showed them off. Right. So it wasn't that hard to track down. He's saying he had a problem with his card in the bank and he had to do a new card. I'm hearing fishy things, plausible things, but fishy things. Fact is, though, what's really pissed me off is PayPal took another 20 out. They just said, we're putting this 20 on hold. They didn't even say why. It just seemed like, in case you're up to no good, we're putting it. So it went past the money that he owes me, or past the money that he's challenging. So yeah, it's a mess. And I'm at 50. One of these other guys is at 200 with this guy. And so I think it'll be resolved in my favor, but 30 days is what PayPal says. So it's 30 days that I don't have money in my account to buy something. So a little ticked off. Like Stephanie Hahn's Power of X 1 in 25 variant that's on pre-order right now.
Wow. Yeah, now I remember the video now perfectly.
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, I remember commenting on it too. But yo, that is pretty messed up, dirty, actually. Actually, yeah. I was showing my wife the video. She's very supportive, but she was just like, he just fast forward to the point where he gets a little ticked off. And I was like, right there, and she was like, all right, thank you. But then she just walks away. But let me jump back into the chat. Mr. TacomaComics in the house. Guys, check his channel out, please. A few more people is jumping in here. Man, we got a nice stack of people. Let's see. We have John Comics with Kids. What is going on? Robert, the G-Spot. He's always on everyone's channel. Perry Comics in the house, sir.
Perry.
Wow. He's got something big coming on tonight, guys. 8 o'clock. Check him out, man. And we have Bake the Snake. What's up, Bake the Snake? What's going on? Jim Boatwright Family and Comics. This guy is putting out. Yo, I don't know why he doesn't reach out to like companies to draw and stuff like that. He's talented, man. Have you seen some of his stuff, Tacoma? What he's been doing, like sending out AOKs and his artwork. Actually, he brought that to my house. He brought that little. It's not little.
Oh wow!
This is what Jim Boatwright does. This is like.
Well, that's serious.
Yeah, it's dope. It is dope. And that's what he does, man. This is what he do, man. Jim Boatwright is a amazing artist, should I say. And back to the chat. I gotta get back to the channels too, the shout out show. And let's see who else. Zen Manga in the house. What is going on? I already mentioned Hialeah. And I think Fire Davis in the house. What's up, Fire Davis? One God Tank. One God Tank is in the house. What's up, man? Thank you for hanging out on the comic book community shout out show with the special guest. Man, we've been playing this out for weeks already. Tacoma Comics is a special guest. Stay Puff 1983 in the house. What's up, Stay Puff? Super Puff 9000 in the house. Oh, man, look at this. Tom, the comic book nerd in the house, man. Bunch of people, man. Bunch of people.
It's awesome, dude. And you know what? I this community is funny because, you know, I've seen at least 1,000 names, maybe a little bit more, but I come into the show here where you having me on, and there's 8 people I don't know that I just subbed up, you know, and it's great. Everybody's got their own little corner. They do their own thing, and it crosses and just in different random ways. So it's awesome to me to like find new people to sub up, and new people come into the community. Sometimes somebody drops off the face for a while. They get busy or whatever. You know, like Thanatos took like a 3-month break, and now he's back and stuff. So it's cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I was actually thinking about Thanatos lately, and yeah, you know, you gotta take a break. My wife tells me you gotta stop doing this from here and there, but then today she sees that I hit 700 subscribers. Then she, I call her. Because my wife is in Georgia with her mom, and she's flying back tomorrow. You guys already know what's going on with mother-in-law, and but she's like, "Well, babe, now I see what's going on, and you're doing very good. I need to support you more." And it's just, she's like, just laughing. We just
gotta balance it, man. You gotta balance it.
Yeah, for sure, man. But at number 4, guys, he's in the chat, man. We have Tom Duh. Or I like to say the comic book nerd on Instagram. I don't think he has an Instagram, but he has only 10 subscribers. This is Diamond Dallas page thing. So he has, all right, he's from the UK over across the pond from England. And from a little small town he told me called Bedford. I wish I could like do the England voice, Bedford, but I can't. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. But he loves comics, mostly Marvel, guys, mostly Marvel, and he likes manga and anything that can visually show him an amazing story. And it would be pretty nice to share some of that love with the lovely folks of the community, the internet, the comic book community, the manga community, all that stuff. And not only that, guys, I love indies. Everybody loves indie comics. It's hot right now. He's working on something to put out there in the near future for indie comic books. So that's at number 4. Tom, the comic book nerd, right now 10 subscribers, guys, from across the pond. JB told me that years ago. Well, not years ago, but when I first started, from across the pond when we brought Comic Deep McD in the house. So yeah, that's props to JB. So have you heard of that channel? No?
Nope.
How you know?
Brand new.
All right.
I got him subbed up already.
All right. Let's go down to number 5, because at number 5, guys, this guy right now, Alberto Pinedo, is at 23 subscribers. No Instagram. It's kind of weird. Some of these channels I find they're like they do their YouTube channels, but they're not real social. But maybe this will open the door for them to come out and hang out with us on Instagram. I hang out with Tacoma, I hang out with John, I hang out with AML, I hang out with Steve Whiting in the house, I hang out with a bunch of people. Maybe these doors will open up for them to hang out with us. I think that'd be pretty neat, right, Tacoma?
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. Some people, I think, they get started and they think they got to do something to get accepted, or they got to get to a certain point to start. And you just got to, just start and you're in. That's it, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we make it timid. Like, I don't know if I do it or not, but you know what? The doors are there. So now they are like they make the videos. We find them. We all find the channel eventually, and then I'm just fortunate to like bring them out and let people know what they're doing right now. And Albert Pinedo is at 23 subscribers, guys. He's a new channel, and what you're gonna find on his channel, man, damn it, get thirsty, man. It's a lot of talking, bro.
What you drinking?
A little mango juice and a little I would say a little bit of Bacardi.
There you go.
There you go. Like, I gotta get my nerves relaxed a little bit. Bringing you to the show. What you bringing to drink with me, sir?
So I just finished. I got a 6-pack of this for barbecue last night. Me and my brother-in-law finished them off. This is just a little light Pilsner from 10 Barrel Brewing down in Bend, Oregon, out of office. And now a little fruitier. This is a nice summer beer. Stiegel Grapefruit Radler, man. This is the stuff. This is nice, not too sweet, just a little bit of grapefruit flavor, kind of a malty beer, and just real relaxing, nothing too strong or anything.
And a perfect hat to go with the sweetness.
There you go. There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Two great gentlemen, two great hats. We're both bald. I shaved my beard. It was looking like a hot disaster. I don't need to rock it no more. I need to look younger. I'm only 42, but if I leave it, I look like I'm 85, and I don't want to look like that, man. But back to at number 5, Alberto Pinedo at 22 subscribers. He's new, man. He's a new channel. He's been collecting comics since the 80s, guys. Since the 80s. And on his channel, he's going to do a lot of comic hauls. There's nothing wrong with that. I love comic hauls. We all do it from time to time. And he's going to sell some books on eBay. There's a very good reason for that. Actually, his eBay is called capital ALBPIN29. He's actually unemployed at the moment. So check him out right now if you want to. That's totally up to you. But the cool thing about his channel is that when he starts his show, he likes to shout out people too. And he shout out a bunch of channels, and I was digging it. Then he mentions my name. I was like, huh? And I was like, wait a minute. Then I gotta give you a shout out too. So I returned a favor. I'm doing it right now. And what you want to do, guys, is check out one video he has out there right now. And I think when you watch it, when you listen to it, it's going to hit like a spot, like in your heart, because it's how comic books saved his life. So for no other reason, if you don't want to subscribe, just watch the video. It's pretty neat. And he doesn't show his face or anything, but he's showing his comic books. And as he's showing his comic, he's just talking. But it's a great story, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and I really do. So you're not crying on me, man. I'm not putting no tears down your face, sir. We're supposed to have a good time, but we got to support.
No, I'm just listening and thinking. It's all good. It's all good.
You don't get emotional on me, bro. Let's jump this back up here. Let's jump back in the chat, guys. Let's jump back into the chat. I collect a lot is in the house. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for hanging out on the Comic Book Community Shout Out Show. We're the only channel you will find people going out for under 1,000 subscribers to make them come out here and be recognized for their hard work and for the content and for what they do for the community too, man. Especially for stories like that. People need to hear stories. Felix Maldonado, what is going on? Soldier only in the house. Man, look at that, man. Troublemaker Comics in the house. Sorry you're late. You don't have to apologize. We're just having a good time. We got Tacoma Comics. I want to give the floor to Tacoma Comics. He's going to rock it out. It's all about him. He's the special guest. He's going to talk about whatever he wants. That's what we do with the special guest. And Lady Fantastic. And she is again. Josh R. Comics and Gaming. There he is. Just people just subbing each other. And that's what we do, guys. Make sure you check out everyone's channel right now. We all put out great content. Most important, you got to recognize everyone in the chat. Don't recognize this hat. Don't recognize me. Recognize Tacoma Comics. This guy with his beautiful hat. Yo, Tacoma, the show is yours. Before we get to that, I'm just going to run down the channels one more time. At number 1, we have Tony Fett on Instagram. He has 90 subscribers. Check his channel out. Doing great interviews, especially with Dan Parisi, especially with Superman Comics. Yo, CBSI Nation strong on his channel. At number 2, Team CGC 9.8. He has no Instagram, but he has a Twitter. He has 117 subscribers. Check his channel out. Guy specializes on CGCs, man. Check him out. At number 3, Comic Flip, 38 subscribers. Check them out. They do a new video Wednesday and Thursdays. Check them out. At number 4, guys, we have Tom, the comic book nerd. The comic book nerd. 10 subscribers, got 10. Check him out, man. At number 5, like I just mentioned, yo, check him out. Alberto Pinedo. And like I just mentioned, it's just a fairly new channel. And he's been collecting comics since the 80s, man. And he has a eBay page, or he's a seller, should I say. And it goes by capital A LBPIN29. Yo, check him out, man. He needs some help. So, Tacoma, it's all about you, bro. It's all about you. Yo, let the people know what you've been doing, what's going on with the family. I love the videos of the kids making noise and the phone going. I love it, man. I love it. It's like raw, uncensored. It's just real, man. I love it. I told my wife, this is what I'm talking about, man.
All right. So that's just, that's just a consequence of not wanting to take the time to edit a video, because you watch some of these videos, people know how to do picture in picture with 3 cameras, and they got the little caption above with a video playing there. I don't have the time to get into all that, so I just go live. I just like to go live. It's real, it's true, it's straightforward. And sometimes when you go live, the dog barks, the kids complain, the wife makes fun of you, and it's it's all fair. They can make fun of me sitting on YouTube talking about comics, but if you go back up in the chat quite a ways, Josh R. Comics and Gaming said that he got into this because he doesn't have a lot of friends around him who get collecting, and I get that, right? I go to the comic book shop, talk to people in the comic book shop. I don't necessarily have a community here because I got to go home and take care of the family. I got to go to school and go to work, and being able to go on YouTube and talk to other people about comics you like, about comics you enjoy, about comics you got, about deals you got, about comics you want to get rid of. That's what it's all about for me, right? So that's why I started. I saw people doing hauls, and that's what I thought was that's what I thought it was. You could do comic book hauls, right? I didn't know that there was anything else you could do other than a comic book haul. So I started doing comic book hauls, and then after a while, All About Comics called me up for the Comics and Cold One show that he used to do with Pope Grimy, and got me on that. And I got on that, and I realized, he's like, you're welcome back anytime. So whenever I was in a weird place like Australia or out in Spokane on vacation, I would just call him up and say, let me on. And I kind of invite myself on. Boom, started doing the auctions. Stuff just took off from there. And so I'm all here just to see people's comics and to show off my comics and everything in between, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, man, because I remember when I first started and I look back at my crappy ass video, and I don't curse, but damn, I had to say crappy ass video. I just use my phone. And I still use my phone to this day. But man, that video is so crappy. I think it got like 60 views, but I was like, how the heck that thing got 60 views? But then we just like, I see it as like I just graduated and just like progress. And I look back into like everyone in the community that's been there for me and helped me, and it's just it's pretty neat, man. It really is. It's a long road, and you're there with me. We're just going through this whole process and just having a good time as we're doing it. I'm like doing interviews, man. I mean, I remember you months ago, and I was like, And Tacoma's cool. He's bald. I should bring him to the show. And I just reached out and you accepted. I was like, I don't know if he's. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to accept it.
I feel honored, man. I'm not going to say no to almost anybody that's asking like me to be on their show. I just think unless I have like a real big problem, but if I do, that person's probably not following me anyway. So I can't see a time where I'd say no to something like this. And this is just awesome. I think people do this. They get to know more people. They get to know the community, and it just builds a community, and within the comic book collecting community, YouTube is a small section of a small community, right? And it's tiny. It seems big for us, but it's tiny. And so I think it's important to make those connections because you can reach a lot of people and find out a lot of information. I'll tell you the one flip side, right? My LCS, there's 3 LCSs in Tacoma, and I've been with one of them mainly most of the time. They didn't get a lot of variants. I'd see maybe one variant. I didn't really know about variants as a thing. And if it wasn't for like social media, specifically YouTube, I probably wouldn't know about that. I'd probably be a lot richer right now. And just people, that's the one, I don't even want to call it downside. It's just a consequence of like seeing all these great comics. You see more comics, and you got to kind of every once in a while step back and say, that's not what I'm collecting. There you go.
Love it. I love it.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I think I'd be a little bit richer if I wasn't listening to what everybody else is showing. So you got to step back every once in a while and be like, all right, I actually don't collect those. I don't care that everybody thinks they're cool. That's not what I need. And that's the other thing you asked about flipping before. Sometimes a lot of my auctions are just like, I got these because they were cool and they're cheaper than they're going for, but I don't really want them, I got some good examples of that right here. As a matter of fact, if I could show you some comics, sir.
For sure, man. For sure.
My new LCS, and the only reason I switched, right? I used to be with TacomaComics, great guys there, but I can walk to this one, and that's for a busy schedule. I get to pick my sons up after school. I don't really have time to stop by on Wednesdays. Walking distance is important, but these were in the dollar bin. They were $1 today, so I still think I know they made like a bazillion of these, and I got all the variants except for like 1 or 2. This is going to be somewhere in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If Miss Marvel's going to be there, if Vision, if Nova's going to be there, and now Ironheart's a member. I mean, if all those people are going to be coming sometime in maybe 8 or 7 years from now, Champions is going to be coming. Everybody's going to be going back in 7 or 8 years from now trying to grab this comic, and it's going to, they made so many of them, it's not going to go up in value like a lot, but for $1, I'll pick that up all day. This is just a great read.
Oh, that's a David Mack cover.
David Mack, you got it. And a beautiful David Mack cover. So a lot of people did not like Civil War II after Civil War I. I thought it kept starting and then stopping and never getting into it. But I thought the concept was really important, especially what's going on in our country right now. And this was, Daredevil having to defend not Daredevil, but Matt Murdock having to defend Clint Barton for killing Bruce Banner. And so this is a real good kind of courtroom drama with superhero-like background. And I think this it's not going to be an expensive comic because it's not a key. It's not a first appearance. But it's a really, if you like reading good comics, there you go. That's a good one.
I actually read that little story arc right there that you mentioned about the court trial. That was pretty dope. It really is. It really is.
I like that. I got this from Charles Soule, Mike Norton. Curse Words, another great Image comic, and this is the holiday special. Picked that up for $1. A-Force 9, I don't think I have this one, so I picked this up for $1. As I mentioned, I love a little Stephanie Hans, so if I can find A-Force 10, Stephanie Hans cover 3 times for $1, I can send those out to anybody that wants one. Anybody that wants something that, you just got to ask me. I send stuff out all the time. I already have this signed and remarked by Stan, but
That's some Usagi there, huh?
Doggy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. I love that. I love
Yo,
that.
Perry. Hey, Perry, you were just saying Daredevil suck, and look what this Tacoma just put out there. Some Usagi for you, brother.
There you go.
Yeah, what's up, Chad? What's up, Chad? Yo.
The chat is flying by. I picked up this Huck number 6 because I only think I've read 1 through 5. And then my son just got into these. So grabbed him. This is really appropriate for 12-year-old. Scotty Young's I Hate Fairyland 9 and 10. And Nathaniel, how far did that graphic novel go that you got for us? I Hate Fairyland. Do you know what issue it went up to?
This is I think the second one, so it's got
Like issue 5 through 10?
it is issue 6 through
10? Well, I got you issue 9 and 10 anyway for the comics.
6 through 10.
Yeah, well, you've already read it, but there's the comics for number 9 and 10 if you want. So he's already read it. He got out of the library, man.
I love it. I love it. The kids are reading comics. You just dropping books out there.
It's hard too because you got kids.
Oh no, sir. We thought we're thinking about it, but there's so much stuff is going on. But right now we're just gonna hold off.
2 pieces of advice, man. You are never ready. Nike, just do it. Like you're never going to be ready. I cannot afford to send my kids to college, but they're going to figure it out somehow, right? I could quit comics right now and save all that money and want to make a dent in college. College is the most ridiculous, like metaphorical, existential threat. Just have kids and you'll figure it out, man. They're so worth it.
I got 2 kids right now. I got the cat right here bothering me. She's hungry. I got my dog looking at me like, you already ate, fatty. But you know what? Yo, I gotta acknowledge the 5 channels once again, sir. We'll keep on rolling what you've been doing, sir. At number 1, we had Tony Fett putting out content, doing interviews with like people like Superman Comics and Dan Percy. He doesn't care. He just want to have a good time and talk to people. Reach out to him right now on Instagram. I don't think he has one, but he has 90 subscribers right now on his channel. At number 2, we have Team CGC 9.8 on Instagram. He doesn't have one, but he does have a Twitter, guys, under the same name. 117 subscribers, guys. He puts out great stuff. A homie from Canada, Jerry, is putting out stuff out there, daily videos, books, and the comic market. Man, Jerry talks about things from investment perspective view, specializes on CGC's 9.8 from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I mentioned earlier from the 60s. No, not from the 60s, just from the 70s to the 90s. And number 3, we have Comic Flip. Comic Flip at 38 subscribers. No Instagram, but Comic Flip, man, great people out there. Check them out. They want to talk about reading books and selling stuff. And if you want to flip it, you flip it. That's totally up to you guys. And they also put out videos Mondays and Thursdays. At number 4, guys, that's a lot of talking. Whew. At number 4, we have Tom, the comic book nerd. Instagram, another one. There's no Instagram, but 10 subscribers, guys. This guy is from across the pond from England, from a little place called Bedford. Bedford? How do you pronounce it in the UK? I don't know. Hey, Tom, let me know how you pronounce that. The right way, should I say. But he loves comics, but mostly all Marvel is what he's into. He likes manga, anything that can visually show him an amazing story, and it would be pretty nice to share some of the love with the lovely folks of the internet and the community, all of us, guys. And he's actually planning to talk about some indie books, so stay tuned for that for the near future. And number 5, like we just mentioned earlier, guys, Alberto Pinedo at 23 subscribers. Great guy. Right now, He's unemployed, but he does have a Instagram, not Instagram, a eBay channel. Buy some books if you want. Support the channel. Support his eBay page or channel, whatever you want to call it. But he's been collecting comics since the 80s, man, just putting out great stuff, showing off his comic hauls. And what he does beginning his video, he shouts out certain people in the community, which is pretty neat because he acknowledged people that subscribe to his channel. So there's only right to return the favor. With that being said, Mr. Tacoma Comics, it's all yours, sir.
Yo, this chat is popping. This is
I did a mic drop.
I'm used to auctions where like the chat goes, 45, 46,
Ow, ow.
47. And then the moderator comes on. All right, 47. Anybody? And everybody's waiting for the next book because they don't want that book. And there's just two people battling it. So this chat's just going bam, 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 bam. Tom mentions that in Bedford, north of London, there he's got free college, which is nice. Yeah, but it's all good. Went to half price the other day. So there's a little rebirth action. First print for $1.50. This one,
How much you got that book for?
$1.50.
Wow, I saw that at MegaCon for like $15.
Yeah, stores are gonna try to charge for this, but there's so many of them out there, Same with this one. Got that for $1.50. I love that cover. A little Super Sons action. And then I got unfortunately this is second print. I got Mr. Miracle 1 for half price, 2 and 3. Got the little test tube baby, X23 in the test tube. I don't know if people don't know about that. Let's see if I can find it quickly. This is absolutely nothing comic. And the author says this is just a coincidence that the test tube in there has X23 written on it. But that's too much of a coincidence, you ask me. So that's a minor, sub-minor key. But still
that's a good key, though. It has to be a key, though.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 of those. This was they had half price as a sale this week. So like Monday's 10%, Tuesday's 20%, all the way up. So I got this yesterday for like $3. It's X-Men 115. This is one of the earliest Claremonts that's not a key. It's just a story. Nothing like important or earth-shattering happens, but it's still an early Claremont X-Men. 35-center newsstand for $3. I'll take it. And they've got X-Men 138 on hold for me right now because you can put books on hold during the sales. So that's a $30 book I'll get for $15. That's my thing. So that was my original jam. I don't know if you've heard my story, if you want to hear my story, but it's my turn. So I'm going to tell you my story.
Damn right it is. It's your time, brother.
It is my time all through the 80s. Right. So I was born in 71. So I was like 10 years old or 11 years old when I started middle school or junior high back then. And I walked to school, and on the way home, past a stationery store, had a spinner rack. And so started off with the X-Men just because it looked cool and I had nothing better to do than go in a shop and look at the X-Men. Started with the X-Men, probably, I think it's issue 149 was my first issue. And collected that straight through high school, 81 or 82, all the way through 89. Collected most Marvel books all the way through that were big, Fantastic Four, Avengers. So I had complete runs of all of that, all the way through the 80s. And then went to college, and the 90s hit, and like the Rob Liefeld style, not to hit him particularly, but that style of comic art took over. The 90s became what the 90s became. I was a poor college student. Rather spend my money on beer than comics. And so I got out of comics, and always appreciated comics, but I didn't buy comics on a regular basis at all. So just kind of did my thing, and then moved out to Tacoma 2008, and a few years later drove by a comic book shop because my wife and kids had taken vacation early. This is before she was teaching. They'd gone back to New York, and so I was like, I can go to comic book shop. Guy introduced me to something called Lock and Key. And I'm telling everybody out in the chat there, if you've not read Lock and Key, I'd say it's as good as Saga. Indie book, horror book, but you know, it's about family. It's well grounded. Just one of the best things I've ever read. Love Lock and Key. The art is amazing. Writing is amazing. Everything's about it is amazing. Anybody who's going to San Diego Comic-Con, pick me up a copy of that Virgin variant of the new one they're doing, and I'll pay you back for it. Just shout out to anybody going STCC. I want that comic.
Who wrote that book?
What's that?
Who wrote the book? Who's the writer?
Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, and Gabriel Hernandez did the art, and just amazing work. So that kind of got me back into it. I came back in 100% totally saying I'm not doing superhero stuff. I'm just going to collect like this indie stuff, because that, other than ElfQuest, which I loved as a kid too, indie didn't exist, right? There was no indie, there was no Image. Maybe there was like a little bit of Dark Horse of Valiant around, but you know, going down to the local stationery store, the spinner rack had Marvel and DC, and that was it, right? And you know, those comics, I used to roll them up and put them around my handlebars, because that's the way I could carry them coming back from the shop. So you know, X-Men 266, roll it up, because who knew what the heck that was worth back then. So yeah, I just you know, I stayed away from superhero comics for a long time. I got into Saga. I got into 100 Bullets. I got into a whole bunch of like the Vertigo stuff. I got into a whole bunch of the Image stuff that was coming out. So this is like the, you know, 2012, 2013, 2014. Just started getting back into it. Then I made, you know, I love the X-Men. So, all right, here's an X-Men title. Or here's, oh, there's a new Wolverine. Her name's Laura Kinney. What's that about? So that stuff just sucks you in. A lot of it's marketing, but some of the stories are really good. You know, I love reading G. Willow Wilson's Miss Marvel. I love reading Eve Ewing's Ironheart. I love some of that stuff. Some of it, I'm like, all right, I can leave this. I've read it before. But yeah, I'm still into comics, and now I'm not just reading. Obviously, I'm collecting. You know, getting those key issues, getting those nice issues. I don't do a lot of slabs. It's not my thing. But I will go for condition, and I will put them in some nice top loaders of Mylar and display them on the wall. And so that brings me to today. Then, you know, Rod just asked me if I want to be on the show a couple weeks ago, and here we are. That's my history.
It's pretty dope history. Is actually amazing just to hear you, because you know, just like all of us, you know, we started collecting at one point or the other. And I just been collecting for like the last, I think, going on 3 years. That's because our house got broken into at around that time frame. And, you know, they just like, what pissed me off the most was they took a lot of my wife's stuff, like her like expensive purses and stuff like that. But before all that happened, I wanted to get back into comics. I just gave all my comics to my buddy. That one that put me back into comics. And then it's just weird because I have a New Mutants 98, which came from my brother. And I've told the story a couple times already. When my brother needed some money, he sold it to my friend. So then my friend needed some money, and he gave me a lot. So I paid for the whole lot for $150. New Mutants 98 is back in the house where it all started like 10 years ago. So that's just a cool story, man. You know, that's how I got back into comics. You know, it's like 3 years ago, and it's pretty dope, man. And it's just things happen, man. Things happen, and I'm just happy to just be, you know, around my wife that's very supportive, even though at times she goes, "Why you gotta go live?" I'm like, they're messaging me, they're emailing me, "Can I go live?" I'm looking at her. Well, fine. And then she understands. Like, she gives me crap, but she understands.
Yeah, my wife's the same way.
Yeah. So, let me jump back in the chat. Yo, this thing is like, it's off the charts, man. Guys in the chat, I really do apologize. I missed you. Edwin, the comic jabroni in the house. What is going on?
Murph.
Super Rust 9000. I believe I mentioned you. If not, I'm sorry, but now I just did. Unruly Simeon in the house. What is going on? Wow, man. Steve Whiting, I mentioned you. Yo, let me see.
Can't Get Enough is here. Smurf is here. Soldier's here. Bunch of new people dropped in.
Thank you. Thank you. Tacoma, the moderator. Thank you, sir. Thomas Wayne, what is going on? Any questions in the chat for Mr. Tacoma Comics right now? He's in the house. This is his time right now. He's going to steal the show away. It's all about him. It's all about his channel, about him, about what he's doing for the community. So this is what the shout out is for. While you guys think about a question, I'm going to just mention the channels. No descriptions, just the channels. At number 1, we had Tony Fett. At number 2, we had Team CGC 9.8. At number 3, we had Comic Flip. At number 4, Tom D, comic book nerd from across the pond called Bedford. At number 5, we have Alberto Pinedo. And any questions right now for the whole
Lady Fantastic has one, and she says first comic. And so I'm not sure. I think my first comic, I've gone back and forth and done a few videos on this. I think it was X-Men 149, which is this totally dorky one. And I think I bought it in England on vacation. So I think it was before I started collecting, like on my way home from junior high. But it was, yeah, X-Men 149. The X-Men get this call. They go into this lair. They take the not the Quinjet. What was the Blackbird? And that was the X-Men's plane. They take it, and Kitty Pryde, who had just become an X-Men, she stole away on board the plane, right? So like it's just supposed to be Wolverine and Colossus and Cyclops, Storm and Nightcrawler. This is before Rogue joined, about 20 issues later. But then they discover Kitty, and she was wearing this mask that she designed. She's wearing roller skates, suspenders, a striped shirt, leggings, shorts over the leg, like the most ridiculous outfit. But to my like 12-year-old mind and body, she was kicking, and that was my first crush there. So yeah, man, that I was in love with Kitty Pryde for a good 2-3 years.
Hey, stop it, little one over there.
That was the way to go. So somebody else asked me my how many comics I got. Somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000, I think. And then yeah, Lady Fantastic says X-Men is down her alley. You got to check out her. She goes over the X-Men like I do, man. She's great with that. JIB Autolycus, I guess that's Autolycus. My Grail book, Giant Size X-Men #1, Hulk 181. Some of the classics, but not like, I don't need every classic out there. I don't need Avengers #1. If all of a sudden I looked around and Amazing Fantasy 15 was in front of me, I'd sell in a minute for Hulk 181 and Giant Size X-Men #1, and then take the leftover cash and go out to dinner with my wife. But there's some books I definitely want, and I'm trying to get the ones I want and not just buy any Grail book that I find at a good price, because otherwise you'll never get your collection where you want it to be. Yeah, so let's see. Anybody else got a question there? Did I miss anything?
He said CVN can't get enough. Just said that my CGC submission has been in the received status since March and April. So I don't know if that's a question or just a comment. But
yeah,
we're mentioning the comment though.
I went to, and this goes back to talking about community. So David Seeking Near Mint Comics, right? He's a guy who shows off a lot of 9/8 slabs of real quality comics. And he's definitely in it for, he likes comics, but he's definitely in it for investing and in that sort of thing. And he hit me up out of the blue, said, "You going to Emerald City?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I'm going too. Let's meet up," because he lives in Federal Way, which is near Tacoma. So we went and met up at Emerald City. I was sitting out there having a crepe, because the crepe place right next to the convention center makes good crepes. And he introduced himself, and we went around the convention together. And that's just, that sort of thing couldn't happen without this YouTube comic book community. So it's pretty good. But the reason I bring it up is he just got his slabs back. So he submitted them to CGC at the convention, and that was like March 14th. April, May, June, July. So that was 4 months ago. So there's a turnaround time, you know, and he paid some big bucks for that. But, you know, it's all good. So Troublemaker Comics says, what don't you like about the comic book industry? And I would have to say the incentive variants that Marvel does. They do too many of them. They make it impossible to put the story first almost, because you end up collecting and chasing variants. I don't mind variant. I don't even mind the idea of a retailer incentive or like a 1 in 100 incentive, but Marvel overdoes it. DC, you know, you saw that, was it Batgirl 24 or 23? That was just a cover B. That was a cover price cover. When Felix is asking kind of the same question. I think that variant flooding kind of kills it. And I think that Marvel might be able to make more money if people were taking that money and spending on other comics and reading new storylines and discovering new comics, you know. I understand why they do it. They can up their title sales. Oh, we sold 6,000 of this. It's like, well, really the store bought it because they wanted to get that incentive variant and sell that at a higher markup. So I think that's my only problem.
But there's just so many variants, though. It's just
and some of them aren't that good. They look really cool, but you know, this is why one of my favorite channels is JP Budget Collecting, because what he does Saturday morning. If anybody doesn't know this, check him out. He takes the CBSI top 10 list from 6 months ago, and he does this every single week. And he goes over which of those books that were hot 6 months ago are hot now, how much they were going for then, how much they're going for now. And it really throws some cold water in your face. It makes you think, yeah, that cool cover, it might have been a $40 book 6 months ago. You can get it for $5 today, you know? And so do you really want that? Yeah, Lady Fantastic says the variants dilute fan enthusiasm for a run. I think she's absolutely right. Bake the Snake says you lose more fans than you gain. And I agree with all of them. Yet I chase some variants. You know, you tell me Stephanie Hans is doing a 1 in 50. It's my favorite artist. I'm on it. I was actually glad that she got her own book, Die, not only because I love the book and it's one of my favorite comics right now. Somebody asked me.
You actually talked about that on your video earlier.
Yeah. Love Die, but it also slowed down the work she did for Marvel. Right? She's only put out. She did the Marvels annotated with the Green Goblin holding the snow globe with Gwen Stacy in, which I think is a classic cover. I was just talking to Poor Man's Comics. He doesn't love that one too much, but whatever, we could disagree. She did The Invisible Woman. She's got a Power of X coming out, and that's it, right? So she's kind of slowed down a bit. I'm going to take the hat off a little bit. It's getting hot in here. She slowed down, which I kind of appreciate because it was getting expensive. I'd rather pay, $4.99 for copy of Die than have to pay like $30 for an incentive variant. But I love the work she does. So yeah, Die is my favorite. If somebody's asking what I like right now, Die absolutely is my favorite current comic.
So right now, so if you had to just put down a list of comics, if you're gonna buy this upcoming Wednesday, so you have Marvel, DC, Indies. Which books are you going to search for when it comes to Wednesday? What's what area are you going to search for?
I don't know because I'm leaving for New York on Wednesday, so I didn't look at what's coming out this week because it's going to be held at my shop. I'll tell you what though, I'll read off. I told you I just switched LCSs. I'm going to read. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I just switched the screen, so I want to make sure. So here's what I've got down with my new LCS. This is the 21 on my pull list that I put down. So this will give you an idea of where I'm coming from, my balance between indie and DC and Marvel and all that. So number 1 was Batman until Tom King finishes his run. Oh, and this is just alphabetical. It's not so sorry. Arcade DG Love Comic Art is JP Budget Collecting, not GP. JP, as in John. Number 2 was the Batman Catwoman run that's coming out from Tom King when he finishes his regular Batman run. Number 3 was Bitch Planet by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Valentine DeLandro, which has been on a hiatus for like 2 years, but she says it's coming back. Black Hammer, Age of Doom, not Black Hammer 45. I don't like Black Hammer 45. Black Science, which is almost over, from Rick Remender. Champions, that's a Marvel that I like, so that's my first Marvel on there. Daredevil, I like Chip Zdarsky's run on that. It's really good. Deadly Class, which is also Rick Remender and is phenomenal. And now for Die, I want 2 copies of the main and variant covers. So cover A and cover B times 2. Invisible Kingdom, which is a really good story. It's G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward on art. Really cool, like sci-fi story, but it's got kind of like this idea of how do you describe, like Amazon, but it's this interplanetary Amazon that controls everything and is in cahoots with this like mystical religion that also controls a lot of stuff. Really good stuff they're doing there. Ironheart, that's number 11. Monstrous, number 12. Miss Marvel, which I loved Miss Marvel at first. It kind of went downhill towards the end of G. Willow Wilson's run. I think one of the bravest things she did was drop it because she knew it wasn't. She wasn't keeping it where it needed to be. Saladin Ahmed is on it now and is just killing it. Paper Girls, Pearl by Brian Michael Bendis. That's one of his imprints. Great comic. Pretty Deadly, which is another Kelly Sue comic that was on hold for like a year, but that is soliciting for September, I believe. Mark Russell on Red Sonja. I forgot to put it down, but Mark Russell on Wonder Twins also. Redlands by Jordi Belair and Vanessa Del Rey. Saga, whenever it comes back later next year. Second Coming, the brand new Mark Russell. Issue 1 was just killer, I thought. And Sex Criminals from Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction. That and the Not for Safe Work covers. So there's my 22 comic pull list. If anybody's wondering what I go to. Yeah, Paper Girls is Brian K. Vaughan big. So there you go.
Pretty dope, man. That's a pretty nice list.
Yeah, thank you.
Epic list, sir. There was a few questions that people were asking.
Throw them at me if you remember them.
Let me see. I'm scrolling down. Let me see. There was one question.
I have not read Birthright, but I really want to get into that. Big. I'm trying to find number 1 for like less than $20. So Arcadia J, just the letter J, my friend. JP is his initials. So it's the letter J, letter P, budget collecting. Monstrous is amazing. The artwork on Monstrous, you can imagine why Sana Takeda's only on 1 book a month because the pencils she does on that are just ridiculous. I also didn't mention Isola. I think I might start picking that up because I got like the first 6 issues and they're great. Lady Fantastic wants to know about DC Universe logo variants. I think it's just what's rare. They didn't do a lot of them. Yeah,
do you have the DC app though? Do you have DC app? Do you watch the movies and read?
I don't have the DC app. No. I'm probably going to get the Disney app when it comes out because it's so cheap and it's like $7 a month, and you're going to get all the Marvel shows and plus a whole bunch of other. I think that's worth it in terms of content. I think I'm going to go there. Right now I've got Netflix. I may or may not have a channel or 2 with my mother-in-law's sign in. I'm not going to, I may or may not have that so I can watch some things, but I like to pay for most of my content. Troublemaker says, besides comics, do I collect anything else?
That's
sort of.
I got I had to scroll down to the bottom. I was still up top.
I get figures. I got Star Wars figures, but I'm not. It's just trying to recreate my youth because I'm one of those kids. When I went to college, my mom gave away all my Star Wars figures, and I had like everything. So, I got a few of those. I get some ships from time to time, but I just don't want to start sinking money into new things. So I got a few pops, maybe 10 pops total. I got various action figures here and there. I got Star Wars Pez dispensers. I got some. I do get the Lego Star Wars Bionicles. I got about 12 of those. My kids and I like to put them together, but nothing too much, you know. And let's see if there's other questions here.
I think
That's about it. I talked enough.
Yeah, no. We can keep on talking all night, but I usually like to do an hour unless the chat want to keep on rocking.
Tony Fetch asked the same question. DC streaming, I haven't. I've read a few Teen Titans. I like them, but I wasn't like into them. So Troublemaker says he collects Lego. I can't really collect Lego because my job is I teach an introduction to robotics class using the Lego robotics. So I get and I have I'm a Lego master educator, which means I work with Lego education. They don't pay me, I don't work for them, but I get sneak peeks and I get like some promo sets and stuff, robotic sets. So to collect something that I get for free, and I get donations of Lego to my classroom all the time. My kids collect enough Lego to like blow your freaking mind. I don't need to start collecting Lego.
Yo, that is pretty dope, man. That's a pretty cool job you got. I do got a bunch of baseball cards. I got right behind me. They all hidden though because that's what I'm into.
What are those banners up top? What team is that? You got all those.
I'm a Phillies fan.
I'm a Mets fan.
Yeah, I'm a Phillies fan.
You shouldn't be talking here. I don't know. That's all the way.
Yeah, I'm a Phillies fan. Born in Philly, and right now they suck. They were doing well, and now it's like
same with the Mets this year. They got this guy Pete Alonso hitting home runs every time he breathes, but otherwise they're not doing too well. I was in Philly beginning of the month for the ISTE, the International Society for Technology Education. Lego Education brought me out there, and I got to show off their new robotics platform called Spike Prime. But it was a good time. Went to a couple comic book shops out there. I don't know if you were comic collecting when you lived there.
Oh man, not right now. No, years ago when I was like in my team, but I haven't been to Philly since. That was last year. I went last year in January, so it was not at the right moment. But things happened for the situation that it was. But I haven't been out there like to hang out and go to Philly and just experience, like I used to. But
so Jabroni wants to know what I teach. I teach 7th and 8th grade. The 7th grade is the robotics class. The 8th grade is like a intro to engineering class using flight and space as the basis for it. But in Philly, we went to the market and we got like they did a free tasting thing. So I think the tickets were like $15, but Lego paid for us. So we went through, and it was 6,000 people getting online for free little tastes of like fried food, and it was whatever the stalls could do the cheapest and the quickest. So it wasn't like the experience you go in the market. But I came back with pretzels, man. I stuffed them in my suitcase and flew them back here, and they got all like just condensation. They got wet, so I put them in the toaster. And that
dried in the microwave. Don't put them in a toaster.
Oh no, my wife brought me around after about 15 years of arguing to toasting things and not microwaving things to dry them out. And it used to be a big argument. And yes, Lady Fantastic, it is a public school. I would love to teach at a private school, except I don't believe in private schools. They give you the freedom to do what you want. You don't have to follow state regulations, but I strongly believe in public schools and don't believe in private schools. Sorry, John's Comics with Kids, nothing personal. You do you. For me, though, private schools have a lot going for them in terms of their release from state requirements, but I don't think personally I could ever teach at a private school. I think I'm public all the way. That's just politically the way I feel.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty neat that what you're doing. I hear that can in the background. I'm the same way. I'm empty too, sir. I need a refill, and
I'm almost done.
Yo, at the subscribers, not the subscriber, but the comic book community shout out, man. At number 1, we had Tony Fett, At number 2, we had Team CGC 9.8. At number 3, we had Comic Flip. At number 4, Tom the comic book nerd. At number 5, Alberto Pinedo. What is going on? 5 great channels, guys, man. All just fairly young YouTubers putting out great content. Help yourself out to check them out. Every channel is in the link below. All you gotta do is just click that link.
Click.
And before we get off the show, sir, let the people know one more time your channel. And man, wow, I didn't believe it was this long, but damn.
All right, man. No, it was awesome. I joined you a few minutes late, so it's all good. So Tacoma Comics, that's where I live. So I crack up when people ask me where I live. I'm like, in Tacoma. On Instagram, on Twitter. You don't have to find me on Twitter. It's political ranting, is in fuck Trump all the time. So unless that's what you're into, don't follow me on Twitter. But Ian is Tacoma Comics, because it started out as Ian Chow Miller, so I switched it. And then YouTube is Tacoma Comics, and yeah, I just want to thank Rod. This has been freaking awesome opportunity. I was really nervous. I'm like, I wish you had interview questions. How are you going to just let me talk? I don't know what I'm going to say.
I don't know. You know what?
I know how it worked out.
Like I feel comfortable. Like I see your stuff. I feel comfortable. I was like, you know what? Tacoma's cool, man. So I just feel comfortable enough to just hang out. Like that's what I want to do, just hang out. That's why I watch your stuff, so it makes me feel comfortable and just hang out with you. Like I already know you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So there's no question. That's why I was just like, we talk about whatever. I emailed you, talk about comics, pull list, or whatever it is. And I was comfortable enough to do that. And that's what I usually do when I bring a guest on. That's how I want it. Just have a good time. Just
this is
chill, man.
Great, man. Heat of the day inside on YouTube is the way to go, man.
Yep. So if you have anything else to say,
just again, thank you. I think that Comics Roni said he was stationed at Fort Lewis, which is, I get a lot of my students are military brats from. I hate the word military brat. It sounds so rude. They're military kids from Fort Lewis whose parents work there, and can't get enough. Says it takes a lot of patience to be a teacher. He is correct there, but I think that's what makes my speaking style so comfortable. Is we're used to like, ooh, the lesson didn't work right today. I got to speak for the next 40 minutes till the bell rings. So just practice. Been doing it for 20 years now.
Well, what you've been doing is great. Being a teacher and all that stuff, that's awesome, man. And the community loves you, man. Not only the community, Tacoma loves you for what you're doing, sir. And let's end the show on a high note. If you want something else to say before we end it.
Good. I'll just thank you again. So we'll end it there, man. Appreciate it.
All right. So on your boy Rod the Rican, that's just Tacoma Comics, man. Check him out on his channel. The link is below. Not only that, all these other channels, the link is below. So the description below, guys. This thirsty. And make sure everyone in the chat, feel free to check them out. Great people in the chat, man. All you gotta do is just click. I want to say clink. Well, I want to say clink your name. Click their name, and it will lead you to a channel. Just click the channel, and that's all you gotta do. But as always, thank you for hanging out on Comic Book Community Shout Out Show. I think this is like episode, good Lord Almighty, 21 weeks in a row, man. We're going strong. And everyone, thank you. As always, leave a comment. Let me know if you know a channel out there under 1,000 subscribers that needs a shout out. Let me know. And as always, make sure you hit that like if you like it. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to do it. And make sure you check out Tacoma. Hit that like on his channel and leave a comment on his stuff. All right. Yo, we out. And thank you, Tacoma, for hanging out. And let's end the show right now. Later.
Peace.